So one of my Instagrammers asked me a good question. She asked, how is it that men move on so fast after a relationship? And I think this is a good question because it's something that a lot of women tend to struggle with. I mean, a lot of people in general, but definitely a lot of women. How is it that we've had this long relationship, that we've put so much into it, and you've moved on so fast? This made me think of a relationship that I had. I think it was the first relationship where I actually invested myself. And at the end of it, she walked away like so easy. And it wasn't so hard that the relationship was over. I could handle that. What was hard for me is all the sacrifices and all the things that I had poured into it just to watch her walk away so effortlessly. And I think the painful thing for most people is that's the point when you realize that that person was not as involved or invested in the relationship as you were. And that's a very difficult thing to piece together, because then it seems like you've wasted so much of your time and energy. This is something that I think women deal with more so than men, because men don't really pour themselves in relationships like women do. They're probably in their late 30s before they even invest in a relationship. They'll get in relationships, but actually investing and becoming vulnerable in relationships, those are two totally different things. So really quickly, I want to tell you three reasons why men get over relationships so quickly. The first point, like I was just saying, is he was probably never really invested in the first place. I know sometimes it seems like, how could that be possible? I mean, he took me out on dates. He was with me for 2 or 3 years. He was nice. He let me meet mom. Those things don't necessarily mean that he was as invested as you thought he was. He may have had a limit, because vulnerability can be a very scary and for some people a dangerous thing. And so he's only going to let you get so far to the point where, okay, if I break up with her at this point, or if she does something to hurt me at this point, I'm still going to bounce back relatively quickly and relatively well. So it's an investment, but not to the degree that maybe you had invested in. And so if he can keep it at that level, then once the breakup does come, he can easily walk away. Number two, he transferred his feelings. One thing you got to remember about relationships, when we do invest in relationships, when they're over, they hurt. And because men are not as good with emotional pain as women are, we don't want to feel it. And so when that breakup does come, in order to avoid feeling that pain, there's another woman that comes into the picture. And what that man may do is quickly transfer his feelings over to her. And not just his feelings, but everything, just the way he looks at her. I mean, she's basically you, but just another person. He just doesn't take a moment to feel the pain and process it. He just moves straight from you to her. And that can be kind of dangerous for men, because a lot of things are transferred with it, including your trust for that person, your lack of trust for that person, insecurities, all kind of things transfer over. So yes, there's the benefit of not feeling the pain of the breakup, but there's also the cost of everything else transferring over. A lot of those things that second person absolutely does not deserve. And the third thing is that he shuts down and manipulates. And so follow me on this. Again, there's a lot of pain associated with the breakup. It's almost like a death, really, because a part of you, however much that you invest in this relationship, is now gone. And so now, in order to deal with that death or that loss of that relationship, he just completely shuts down, because I don't want to ever feel this pain again, or go as long as he possibly can without feeling it. But he still has a physical need. He has a sexual desire. So how does he fulfill that sexual need without opening up, without delivering some of those love languages that we talked about in the last video? Well, he can't. So he has to manipulate, make her think that he cares about her, and then he goes around and he has sex with her in order to satiate his desire, his physical desire, or sexual needs. And so that's a very dangerous man, because he's basically punishing you for the pain that he felt with somebody else. So again, I know it's a hard thing to deal with, you being in a relationship with someone and investing so much in someone, and they walk away so easily and they're with someone else. All of a sudden you're just like, we just broke up 2 days ago, how are you with someone else? Oh, and another thing is, he probably already had her lined up. Men don't just break up with women, they have somebody else lined up already. So it's like, it's really a transition for them. So yeah, it is difficult, but you got to remember two things. One, you got to remember not what that person walked away with, because it may be a big chunk of you, but you have to remember what that person walked away from. And that means that you still have to keep in mind that you have a legitimate and real self-value and worth, no matter who comes in or who comes out of your life. And as long as you know that you have that self-worth, as long as you understand that you are the prize, you'll be okay. In fact, you're more valuable than ever after he walks away because of the lessons that you've learned while he was there. It's very easy to think of exes that did you wrong as monsters, but your love life and your life in general improves drastically when you see them for who they really are. A damn good lesson. Breakups are hard. There's no silver bullet, but you will survive. You'll probably look back and realize that this is the best thing that happened to you, and it will make you a better person in the future. Make sure that you subscribe to this page for books, t-shirts, and more. Make sure you check out JeremeFord.com. You can also get books on your e-mobile devices. All you got to do is search my name, Jereme Ford, and all of my books will come up. All of the links are in the box below. And you can always hit me up on Facebook. That's in the link below too. Until next time, everybody, Hotep.